Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex, and I would absolutely love it if you love this content, if you would please like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really allows me to continue creating, it inspires me to keep making these videos, and it lets me know that you guys like this content, It gets the videos out in the algorithm more, and all in all, it just makes this a way more pleasurable experience for all of us. Now, I did drop a video yesterday about some tea that has come out on Kanye, because baby, this girl's a menace. Like, so much has come out on Kanye. So if you are interested in it, it will be linked up in the cards here, and you can also find the video on my page. It's like really, it's right in the Ultimatum episodes and recaps, whatever. So check that out, the recaps and reviews playlist. Also, if you have not seen all of the previous recaps and reviews and you're interested on my thoughts, I'm sure a lot of you have been done with this show. Okay, I know you've been waiting for me. Yeah, but if you're interested in my thoughts on any of the other episodes, you can go and check the playlist out, the Ultimatum recaps and reviews. It is right there on my channel. And last but not least, please, like I said, if you watch the videos, please subscribe, please like, please interact with the videos. I'm super excited. Let's get into episode 6. 7, 8, and 9. Okay, there wasn't that much that happened in these episodes, especially episode 9, the decisions. So let's just get on into it. So we start off episode 7 with the changeover. And they asked Nakateko what he wants Kanye to bring in the next 3 weeks. Now, Nakateko says he and Isaac agreed on some different things about Kanye. Basically, they talked, they corroborated, they were like, yeah, this is problems with Kanye. And Kanye's like, so you guys were gossiping about me? You guys spent the whole time talking about me? And again, it's just, I don't understand what is wrong with Kanye. Like, if I'm being honest, it seems like Kanye has a lot of trouble with, like, processing of things, because she's like, she jumps from one extreme to the other. It's like they basically both just talked about some different things that they each noticed being partners of her, and all Kanye can fixate on is, oh, you guys were talking about me? You guys were gossiping about me every day? Oh my goodness, all you guys did was talk about me? And we notice later in the episode, Kanye gets extremely fixated on things, and she does not let it go whatsoever. I don't know, it's like a fixation for her. Like, she cannot let go of that anger. And it's just crazy because Kanye cannot accept hearing about herself. And of course it's hard to hear critique of yourself. Of course it's hard to hear that you're not doing things right. But I do think as an adult, self-reflection is an incredibly important thing to do. I'm not going to claim it's easy. I think even in this episode we saw with Ruth, like Ruth also had a lot of trouble taking accountability. Ruth was very angry in this episode, and I think it's nuanced, and I don't want to say I completely understand, but I understand why she had that reaction. But I do also agree that Ruth should have taken a bit more accountability as well, but we will get to that. So at this point, all of the couples say goodbye to each other. So Tabby and Lindalay say bye to each other, and they got Genesis in the background saying they're uncomfortable with, their body movements, their hug, just how close they are. Genesis is definitely reflecting on these episodes about how somebody else appreciated his woman more than he did. And Caesar and Nakateko also say bye to each other. And of course, Kanye's on the back feeling disrespected that those two are hugging, that fatty boom boom or whatever she called her is disrespecting her. She ain't like that. So we get home to Kanye and Nakateko. So she is already giving him the silent treatment.
So you're giving me silent treatment?
I prefer not to.
Like, he tries to talk to her, and she is just not listening. She doesn't want to hear it. He says he's used to this behavior, and, I saw a lot of people talking about Kateko and Kanye, and I don't know, because I'm of two minds on things. There are people that I saw have the take that he's in an abusive relationship and he's kind of mentally trapped. Which I definitely see and makes a lot of valid sense. But then I've also seen other takes that are just like, Nakateko loves, like, drama. Like, he loves the drama, he loves the mess. And I mean, I feel like I know men and women who are both like this, where they get into these relationships and they love the high, the up and down of mess, the up and down of drama. A lot of men love like the feisty, pretty woman. Like that's a very common trope. So I don't know, but you know, he does state that he's used to this. Now, Kanye at this point gets irate, and we have another Kanye meltdown.
Take your cheap wine and get off my bed. Please, get off this bed, now.
I wouldn't say I'm an angry person, but I don't tolerate certain things.
Kanya, stop being a bully.
Get off this fucking bed!
Kanya, stop hitting me. Just relax.
Get off this bed!
I wasn't disappointed. Kanya literally did do what I was expecting. And then you want to be marriage material.
For who? For you? I'm not marriage
For any
material
other
for
man
boys.
see this
For
bullshit.
men, not for boys.
She starts screaming that, you know, that she's disgusted that the same body she was rolling around with at Cesar Gille's bed is now in her bed. You know, she's screaming, get off the fucking bed. She tries to pull him off. And he at this point is like, you're not marriage material. Like, you're not marriage material. She says, neither are you. And they go back and forth talking about how you're a child in a grown man's body, you're a child in a woman's body, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't know though. Like, there is a big piece of me that really thinks that both of them two love the high. Only because of how we see them over the rest of these episodes. I feel like both of them love the high of fighting. So now Lindele and Sizakele are back home, and she confronts him about being in love with Tabby, and he straight up says yes. Like, I was intimate with Tabby, but it was in my own space. And this is referring back to when Sizakele and Nekateko were like outside hugging in like the grass and everybody was upset. So Caesar does say she's sorry that it hurt him that she was intimate with Nekateko, but like she's not sorry that it happened. And I think that's the stance that both Sizakele and Ruth, I think, have also had like those same two stances where it's like, I'm not going to apologize for what I did, though. So he says, Lindele says, he will walk away from the relationship if she feels that she connected with Nekateko better. So he really needs clarity on if that connection is stronger than their connection. But she does say that she loves him. You know, Sizakele does say she loves Lindele. And he says that he sees that. So for him, that's what makes him want to keep going, because he does see that she loves him. So he's going to give her the benefit of the doubt, which, okay. Now, Tabby and Genesis, they get home, and Genesis bought Tabby a bunch of gifts. It's like spread out all over the apartment. And he says, you know, I bought her all these gifts because it's her love language. And then there's one more gift on the bed. And it's not from Genesis, it's actually from Lindele. And
I can't stop thinking about Lindele every time I look at this teddy, and I just want to hold it and cuddle it. I bought Lindele a gift, a token of my appreciation.
It's a big teddy bear. Now, I have some takes on this because number one, I'm gonna keep it real with you. And I'm only saying this because Genesis already admitted it. I think there is really this thing that happens with a lot of people in general, but I feel like I've seen it very common with men where like they treat their partner like trash, or they ignore their partner, they don't really appreciate their partner, all of these different things. But then when they see their partner with someone else, all of a sudden they want to step up and start trying. And I think Genesis literally admitted that he saw someone else admire his partner, Lindele, admire his partner more than he did. And I just think it's an interesting phenomena, if you will, with this whole thing. Because it's like Genesis now, when it may have been too late, wants to be like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And I think a lot of women, like, I think we've been in that, we're the one that got away, and they try to come back. Like, I know that's happened to me, child. They try to come back, and it's just like, I don't know, it just shows a lot where it's like, why don't you appreciate the person you have when they're right in front of you? You know, you shouldn't need the ultimatum to show like that your woman can be appreciated. And I think also some men, they just simply don't want to see their woman with someone else. Which of course not. Like, nobody wants to see their partner with someone else, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't, you know, it hurts them to see their partner being appreciated, and you know, they recognize, oh my God, she's not gonna stay. Because I think there's this other thing too, where there's the expectation that they're always gonna stay. I've been in a relationship like that where the guy treated me like trash, right? And he expected, he even flat out told me at one point that he expected that I was never gonna have standards, that I was always gonna stay with him. And so when he realized that, then he started trying to come around and act a little better, you know, give me gifts, show me attention. But it's like prior to that, it's like, he was like thinking that I was gonna stay no matter what. So I think with this whole thing, you know, I really hope that for Tabby, you know, she is standing her ground. And, you know, Tabby does say in this conversation that she is no longer going to beg for anything, that she's going to choose herself, and that, you know, he needs to show her, like, look, you want me? Well, show me that you love and appreciate me. And so, again, that better be true, sis. Now, Tabby does admit that she also got Lindale a gift, and she got nothing for Genesis. I was like, ooh, baby, okay. Now, Courtney and Aiden, Courtney gets a gift for Aiden, but he says he got her nothing because he had no money. Which, later in the show, they talk about how Aiden doesn't have a job. And now, I don't know, maybe I missed it because all the other couples were so big. Like, there was so much going on with all the other couples, but did they ever mention that Aiden doesn't have a job? Now Courtney does admit that she's walking away if her expectations are not met. You know, she says that Aiden is indecisive and he doesn't know what he wants, so he doesn't fight for anything. And I'm like, indecisive, avoidant, we can use the real words if you want. Now, he says, I also had things, though. Like, you know, I also had stuff. And they again, talk about Courtney, how apparently she never apologizes. But I don't know, with this couple, I feel like we got a lot of, like, allusions and, like, statements, but we never saw a demonstration of anything. So, I don't know. I feel like I don't even know Courtney and Aiden, if I'm being honest. So, Ruth and Isaac... Ruth does apologize to Isaac for the way that he found out about everything and the way that she handled herself, but she does not apologize for sleeping with Nola.
Apologize for the way you found out about everything. I also want to apologize for the way I handled myself or everything after you found out. I don't think you deserved to.
Ruth is like, I'm not apologizing for that. And she also says, like, you know, Isaac cheated as well. Like, she tries to frame that Isaac cheated as well because he saw Kanya naked, they cuddled. And I do think it's interesting because we got an implication that the two of them did it, you know, had boom boom, Kanya and Isaac, but we never got like a confirmation on screen. We just saw them under the covers and then the next episode started. So in either event, as I talked about this a lot in my last video recap. So if you're interested in more of my takes on like Ruth and, you know, why I feel like Ruth is approaching things the way she is, I would recommend watching that. But kind of as I said, I think with Ruth is in a place where she was not satisfied. She was not pleasured by her partner boom boom wise, you know, she admits that. And I think because of that, Ruth is in that place where it's like, I finally get to speak up for myself and I'm not sorry. And I've been in that place before, not necessarily about boom boom, but like just in life. I think if you're a person that's used to not speaking up and then for the first time ever you speak up, it's very common to be very bold about it and be like, I'm not saying sorry. I remember being like that where I'm like, this is my feelings and I'm not saying sorry. Now, obviously, times have changed, and I do realize there are times where you have to admit fault, right? Even if you're speaking up for yourself, even if you agree with the things you did, you can still admit fault. You can still, at the very least, acknowledge that it hurt you. And I think with Ruth and Isaac, it just seems like there's more to those two that we did not see on screen because they seem to have a lot of tension. Like, a lot of tension. Even just watching these episodes, I mean, obviously we know like the main stuff, but I don't know. So Ruth is also upset that Kanya met Isaac's family, rightfully so. I mean, you knew this girl for a week and she's already meeting your family. Why haven't I met your family, you know? So Isaac at this point can't take it and he literally leaves and goes to sleep somewhere else. So Tabby goes over to Lindalay's villa and drops off a gift. And the tension is still there between those two. The actual tension, baby, it is still there. She says that he is looking good. She admits that she misses him. And she got him like this nice little teal shirt. And she leaves a little note with the shirt. And Lindalay literally starts crying. And it's like...
This is just like literally to say thank you for like how awesome you were when we were together, and yeah, just take care of yourself.
Like, I don't know, between those two, the connection is still there. So I don't, I would, if I was Tabby, I would not be happy. Not Tabby, sorry. If I was, Caesar Kelly, I would not be happy. So Isaac returns the next day after sleeping somewhere else. She does thank him for staying this time around and says he will forgive her, but things are not cool and that trust is broken. And then, like, we see a little scene of Isaac squeezing himself on this little ass couch. And she's like, come to bed, I won't touch you. And then in the later episodes, we find out they did have Boom Boom, the two of them. So, so now Caesar and Lindalay are talking, and Caesar finds that gift from Lindalay on the counter, and the bag says, what goes around comes around. And Caesar's like, that's shade. Like, that's literally a message. That is shade. So at this point, she's like, take it back. Like, you know, take that back. And he claims that he's gonna take the gift back tomorrow. Now we come back to Kateko and Kanya. So Kanya, Kateko tries to start small talk with Kanya, and Kanya's like, are we just gonna pretend like everything's good? Jeez. Like, Kanya is one of the most rigid humans I've ever met in my entire life. Now, he apologizes for hurting her feelings, and I'm like, why? Why are you apologizing? Like, it's so clear that this is a cycle between these two. That not Isaac, I'm sorry. Kateko, he apologizes just to keep the peace. I feel like Kanya, well, we know Kanya is one of those people where she will literally not let something go. She will make your life a living hell until she gets what she wants from you. And I think that Kateko is used to that behavior. And again, I know, I'm not sure how much I buy into, like, he's mentally, like, I think, if I'm being honest, I feel like the two of them love the high of fighting. I think he likes the high too. And we saw it with Caesar. When he left Caesar with Kanya, we saw he loves mess. That man loves mess. I'm sorry, he loves mess. So she claims that they were always talking about her, Caesar Kelly and Kateko. She claims that they were always talking about her and trying to get under her skin. And I don't know, Kanya is a constant villain. I hate constant villain type of people. Those people that swear everyone's out to get them. Those people that swear everybody talks about them. Everybody's trying to do them dirty. It's like, self-reflect. And Kateko is like, we didn't talk about you, but child, you know, Kanya writes her own fanfic. So now Caesar and Lindalay, Caesar says, look, I'm gonna return the gift to Tabby because it's still on the table and you have not returned it to her. So she goes to return the gift, and honestly, it's a really awkward scene.
I don't know if you guys spoke on the phone or whatever. He was supposed to bring this back, and I don't know what's happening with him. He's not bringing them back. Unfortunately, I have to, because I really don't appreciate these coming to our space like that. If you guys were to exchange gifts, I feel like you should have done.
Caesar's like, look, I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't feel like it's appropriate for you to be sending this gift to my villa. So here is the gift back. Genesis is sitting there. It's just such an awkward scene between all of these people. And then Genesis later explains to Tabby that he did not know that Lindalay brought her a gift during the uncoupling, or she, excuse me, did not know that Lindalay brought her a gift during the uncoupling, so it seemed like a random gift. And at this point, you know, Tabby goes to bed and Lindalay also leaves. Like, he just heads out for the night. So Kateko and Kanya we come back to them and they're still going back and forth, but then they start laughing. And this is what I'm talking about. This scene in particular of the two of them fighting then laughing shows me they like the mess. They both like the mess. They like the high of the up and down. They realize they miss each other's cuddling, and then they actually sleep together and they have boom boom. Like, I think this is what they do. They fight, they make up, have boom boom. They fight, they make up, have boom boom. Clearly, I mean, Kanya was pregnant with a baby that presumably is Nekateko. So they are good. They're better. You know, we see them at dinner the next day and they are fine. So Ruth and Isaac, they claim, you know, Isaac claims they are still healing, but they do have a talk. So Ruth brings up how she feels that Isaac cheated as well, because again, he saw Kanya naked, he cuddled with her, and presumably they have boom boom, but they ain't mentioned that. So she says that he's playing things up and he can't even admit how he cheated, but he's kind of like playing up how bad her behavior was. So, meh. Okay. So she asked why, if he was not interested in this, if he didn't want this, if he didn't want to try anything, why don't you just leave? And then Isaac pulls out a engagement ring.
Let me show why I'm here.
And I'm like, Lord have mercy. At that point, I was like, Lord have mercy, don't let these two get married. So we go on to episode 8. So Ruth and Isaac, we're still on this conversation. So Isaac claimed that he knew he was going to come out of this experiment with her from the beginning. Sure thing, Isaac. Ruth says if she fucked up and changed his mind, so be it. Ruth is done. Ruth is done. Ruth is done. And while I don't agree with her approach necessarily, I agree that, look, if you're not in it, if you're not happy, if you're not pleasured, leave. Isaac does not seem like the type of person that ever wants to hear either what he does is wrong. So I think for the two of them, it is best to just split, okay? Now, she says she should have let her know, he should have let her know, like, where he stood, rather than just making her guess and figure out what was going to happen. Like, you know, assume anything. So Sizakele and Ruth meet up for a walk, and Ruth tells her how Isaac was planning to propose, and Caesar's like, a ring, girl, a ring? Now Caesar says she right now does not see it working with Linda Lay. They have been going back and forth, and they just can't seem to really agree on a lot. So Kateko and Kanya are very lovey-dovey. We see a little scene of Kanya buying him a Speedo, and then they get into a conversation about whether he will propose or not. So Kateko says that he will feel confident proposing to Kanya if she can work things out with his mom. Because remember, Mom and Kanya do not get along whatsoever. And she says, it's a sacrifice, but I'll do it because I love you. Now, Linda Lay and Kateko meet up, and this is because they need clarity on where they both stand with Caesar. Okay, Linda Lay needs some clarity on the relationship with Caesar. Now, he tells her he feels like he lost Tabby already, and he assures him not to worry, that there is nothing really there between those two. So now we have girls' night and guys' night. And you know, the girls' night and the guys' nights, they be getting messy.
I'm quite happy.
Okay, so who's had sex with their partners? My man. I'll say yes.
Guys, it was good. See y'all. I have fun.
Do you feel like you're left behind now?
No. For me, it's more.
So Aiden reveals that he is planning to propose to Courtney. He shows the engagement ring. Cool. Caesar asks if Kateko and Kanya are ready to get married. And of course, Kanya gets defensive and says, of course we are. Of course we're ready. Now, Caesar says it's been hell with Linda Lay and that they are really not getting along. Like, child. Kanya says she's not ready Kanye says that she does not feel that Caesar is ready for marriage yet, that she just wants to have fun with these boys. She's still trying to imply that Kanye's a hoe or something. So there is a confrontation from Tabby about the gift from Tabby to Lindley. There's a little confrontation there. And she claims that she did not want to bring the gift over the first night because it was the first night. And I was like, the first night they got back. And I was like, okay. So after this, Genesis and Lindley, they talk about the present. He says that he and Tabby had a great experience, but it didn't, for Caesar, it didn't really sit right because she takes it as cheating. And so that's what Genesis and Lindley talk about. Kanye asks Ruth if she feels like she knows Isaac since they're getting married. Fair question. And she also asks, why did you give Nola so much access, And she claims it's because she wanted the sex and she needed it so bad. And I'm like, again, Ruth, I feel like was just done. Like, I feel like we saw a lot of scenes of Ruth literally crying out saying, I am not pleased by this man. I am not pleasured. Now, should she have stayed with him for 2 years? Maybe not. But at the end of the day, I think it was very clear and very obvious that Ruth was not being satisfied and she needed to be satisfied. So she brings up Isaac seeing Kanye naked. And oh my God, they start to go back and forth.
Seeing you every part.
No, it's called full access. Do you know what that means?
Also, I call it full access.
You? Drama.
Why are you upset that you slept with someone?
I'm not upset.
Who sent you to go sleep with him? Why are you making my problem
No,
now?
I wanted to.
Once again, she says Ruth is sleeping around, that you give men all kind of access, again implying that Ruth's a hoe. And Ruth brings up some little comment about Kanye, I think, selling her body on the internet. And I was like, ooh, child. So the men talk about sex. We pan back to them. They're talking about boom boom. And Isaac says he does not want to get intimate before the decision day, so he's not swayed by anything. But it's like, pretty sure you all had boom boom. Okay. So we go back to the house. Ruth and Isaac recap how, how everything went. And, she tells Isaac how she said, look, I told her I don't go around selling my ass so he can buy me things. And Isaac liked that she was standing up for herself. He was like, that's my woman, okay? He was like, I didn't know Ruth had that in her. And that very little comment was so interesting to me where he said, I didn't know she had that in her. Because again, it's like, it could have been harmless, but something about Isaac, well, we know Isaac wants a submissive, docile woman who's not gonna say anything. He didn't like Kanye speaking up. He doesn't like Ruth speaking up. I don't know. It's just those little things that I pick out. I know that's such a small and harmless comment, and I might be reading into it too much, but something tells me I'm not. Okay. So Kanye and Ateko, they're talking about it as well. And Kanye is talking about how Ruth is an ugly hood rat. And
I'm always right about these things. Yeah. So
She's an ugly hood rat who's bitter, who's about to... Ooh.
Kanya, let it go.
She'll learn to stop lying about people's names.
Now, what I'm saying is...
If that's what she does where she's from, it's not gonna fly here.
It was...
No one sent her to go sleep with me. Like I'm asking, I have a problem, but don't do that.
I had to consistently remind her that it's not worth it.
You know what kind of channel this is? I was like, the colorism of it all. Like, I don't know. She talked about Caesar Kille, but Caesar Kille is a little bit lighter. So she would always talk about her body. I don't think she ever called her ugly. But for some reason, something really struck about her calling Ruth an ugly hood rat. Like, she kept talking about how Ruth is ugly. And I was like, colorism? So I don't know. Kateko tells her, look, you may meditate on negative things for way too long. And again, Exactly. We see after this, she is still so fixated. I mean, you said 500 times in the conversation, Kanya, how Ruth is a hood rat. Directly to her face. You called her an ugly hood rat. You told her she sleeps around. All of these different things. And then you come home and you're still talking about how she's an ugly hood rat and she's disgusting and all of these different things. And I'm like, this lady just fixates and fixates. So, Courtney and Aiden have a meeting with her parents. I'm gonna just breeze through this. The main gist of it is that Aiden talks about how he is gonna propose to Courtney. It is revealed in this that Aiden does not have a career supposedly because he's indecisive. So her parents, Courtney's parents, are like, look, you need to get a career. Like, you need to be able to like support Courtney and support a household. Aiden's mom is also there. It seems like she's a lot more light, carefree, but I have a lot of questions about Aiden. I want to know, first off, how you gonna propose to anybody and you ain't got no job? You ain't got no money. Like, I don't know. I'm not even talking about necessarily, I don't know, do white South Africans do lobola too? Somebody who's South African, let me know. But either way, not just for that purpose, but also like, I don't know, how you gonna get married and you can't support your woman? Like, what if you want to have kids? And like, who's gonna? Okay. So he does ask for Courtney's parents' blessing to marry her. They say yes. The end. So Ruth meets Isaac's family, and Isaac's sister, cousin, and friend are invited. Now the sister didn't even know about Ruth.
Or about you.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know why Isaac never said anything about me. Ask your brother.
Personally, why I think Isaac kept the relationship a bit of a secret for me is because he's not sure of her.
I was like, damn, she didn't even know. She didn't even know about him. And the cousin thinks, of course, that he kept it secret because he's not sure about her, which is true. Like, if you're sure about someone, you introduce them to your family, your friends, whoever in your life is important to you. Now, Ruth admits that she's not sure of him, but she says she's kidding. It was a joke. But they do reveal that he stays out late. He's not there all the time. And remember, also, Ruth doesn't know anything about this man's life. And he says, well, I need to be Isaac. I need to be me. I need to have my space. And I'm like, okay. So now she talks about the boom boom. She talks again about the boom boom and how she's not pleasure. She says, you don't give me boom boom. You don't do this. And I'm like, oh, baby. Ruth is really, really not pleasured. And you know what? It is a big deal. Like, I feel like, I'm not saying boom boom is the only part of the relationship, but I feel like if it's really trash, it can affect things. But at the end of the day, you know, Ruth admits that, like, she thinks that Isaac just wants to live life single, and it clearly seems that way. Like, I understand that you don't necessarily introduce your parents in South African culture, and a lot of African cultures. As I said, I dated a Nigerian guy for a while, or a little bit, and yeah, it was the same thing. Like, you don't really bring someone to your parents unless you're sure about them. But, like, she's never even met a friend, a cousin, a sibling. Like, I don't know. The cousin, I think, does bring up a good point that because Isaac brings up how he wants a woman that will take care of him, and the cousin's like, look, if your woman feels safe, loved, protected, etc., then she's going to want to take care of you in a relationship. If one of those things are missing, then it's not gonna work out, you know? And then he also says it won't matter if you need some time to yourself because she's gonna feel secure. And I do agree with that. I think that, you know, a lot of people will talk about clingy girlfriends, clingy wives, but at the same time, it's guys who give their partner so much to distrust a lot of the time. If you make sure that it's secure in the relationship, then there will be less resistance to you wanting to do your own thing. So they have their final dates. There's not a lot to say here, but Caesar and Kateko, they meet up for closure. He's still smitten for Caesar. Like, those two should just be together. He says he's still not over her, and she also says there's feelings there, and then he asks if there's a chance that they could be together if they both say no to their partners. Decision day. We just gonna breeze through decision day. I ain't gonna hold you. So Kanya and Kateko, Kateko gives Kanya a promise ring. He says that this is a promise that within the next year, they will get married. But as of right now, he does not feel like they are ready. They still need to work up to it. They still need to work on things. As expected, Kanya is not pleased with that. She says, no, I want a wedding. I don't want a promise ring. What is that? She gets mad, storms away.
I am going on to Ultimatum. From the moment I first laid eyes on you, I really felt, and I still feel, like you're the woman I really want to be with.
I said to myself, don't ruin the moment again. Like, you're always not letting him take the lead.
And what I want to say, the reason why I'm also giving you this ring, let me finish. I want to make a promise to you. You know we've got a lot to put into this relationship.
Is the end of that. Sisakile and Lindale, he proposes to her and she says yes. Okay? We'll see if those two stay together. Now, Kanya and Kateko, we see them back again in another scene, and they go back up and she's like, okay, so what is going on?
An opportunity to show me. Still, you're just here.
Is to make us have that promise that we'll put the work in and finally get married this year.
I need a deadline then.
Last year,
2 years.
Kanya, I wouldn't be here if I'm not serious about you. But I don't want to lie to you. Engagement for me is real marriage, and we need to really make sure.
What's going on, Mom? The same ring.
Kanya.
Hey, please, Mom. Yeah?
Going on. She says she needs a deadline for them to get married. And he says he really just wants to make sure it will work. But he's like, I will propose to you right now if you want me to. And she's like, no. Like, just 2 seconds ago, you were about to give me a promise ring, and now you want to propose to me with the same ring? Which, that to me definitely was like, whoa, okay, maybe that little part right there made me start to think maybe Kateko is a little whipped, because baby, why are we proposing? Why are you letting her bully you? That's the second time we saw her bully her. No, sorry. Her bully him on this episode. The first time is bullying him into an apology after they got home. And now we see him being bullied again into proposing, which is nuts to me. So Kanya claims she's moving on. She can't do this. It's not for her. Courtney and Aiden, he proposes. She says, yes, baby, I hope they figure out the financial situation. I hope Aiden gets a damn job. Ruth and Isaac, so basically Ruth and Isaac come up. Isaac basically says, look, he pulls out the ring like he's about to propose, but he says, you deserve better than me.
I'm ready to take things to the next level. I came to a conclusion that I love you, but deep down me, I know you deserve way better than me. I feel like it's for the best.
I think we should move forward. I want you to find someone you're happy. And Ruth also agreed that she was coming to end the relationship. It was not working for her. So those two part ways. Thank God. Thank God. Those two just needed to be done. And then lastly, Tabby and Genesis, he proposes and Tabby says yes. So the reunion is coming up. As I said, if you're watching this the day, see what happens. I am very curious because something tells me almost none of these couples will be together. Although we at least have speculation that, what's her face? That Kanya and Kateko possibly had a baby. And I wonder if they're going to address the baby on the reunion. So anyways, if you got to here, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Okay, and stay tuned for the live reunion recap. Okay, talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!